I played with the Minnesota Vikings for 15 years. I finished my career in Seattle, but those years with the Minnesota Vikings were great, wonderful years. I played in 4 Super Bowls. We were in 10 division championships. The Purple People Eaters are still the reigning NFL champions. And I played with a group of guys that were just wonderful guys to play with. They were intimidating to the opposing quarterbacks, and we love that. The guys that I played with, of course, are like brothers to me. We're like family when we come together. But I have a family at the Hall of Fame players. These guys are like family. We come together on very special occasions, and it's always a reunion.
It was mid-November, back in '95. We won the championship that year against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
When I played the game, I played my heart out. I played my best. We're getting older, but we're hanging in there, and everything we do to protect our health is really important.
Over the years, I've been not sleeping at night. I sleep in 2-hour increments, and I've been doing it for quite some time. My breathing would stop, my wife says, and some days she would push me just to make sure that I'm breathing. So she would push me some nights because I would stop breathing.
And I'd wake up in the morning and I feel like I hadn't even been to bed. I would go through the day, I'd fall asleep, I'd be tired. It was just not the same. And I didn't know what the problem was. But then when I got tested and I got the treatment, which was the mask, I thought my problems were solved.
My brother in '09 passed away, and he left in his sleep, and it was a massive heart attack. Now my doctor tells me that it is all related to your sleep apnea. Similar to Reggie White and a few others that has left in their sleep. My brother left with a massive heart attack, but he also had sleep apnea as well. You can't put a price tag on getting a good night's sleep. And how can I bring my brother's life back? If I would have met Mr. Gergen 3 years ago, I could have saved my brother's life.
Reggie White, other guys that had unfortunately, passed away because of sleep apnea. That was just too much of a risk to take. For the longest time, I didn't have any idea that I had sleep apnea. I'm probably like most people, like the average Joe or John or Bob or Greg or whoever, but I didn't know I had it, and I kind of denied it that, well, I'm a tough guy.
In Minneapolis in 2012, we did a screening for former NFL players. I met Carl Eller there. We had him tested for sleep apnea. He was apneic, but he didn't want to wear the mask.
I found out that I did have it. I got tested, and I got the equipment. And to my not surprised, because they had said this is what it's going to do, but I'm hard-headed, I don't listen. A lot of people are on the machines, but they don't use it because it's uncomfortable and it leaks or it messes up their skin, all of that kind of stuff.
7 years ago, my wife was diagnosed with sleep apnea, and it was I didn't realize how much of a problem it is for most people, but for her, it was a real problem for sleeping at night. She was treated with a mask to wear at night. She couldn't wear the mask was leaking in her eyes, creating problems. I came up with the idea to make a gasket to fit on the mask, which I called a mask liner. So I showed that to her. She tried it, and when she went to bed with it, I woke up 7 hours later. She hadn't moved all night. I was very concerned that possibly had killed my wife. I ran around the bed, I looked at her. She looked like she was dead, so I shook her really hard, and come to find out she was sleeping, and she slept all night. Being in the industry, we had someone approach us and say, you need to get a hold of David Gergen, who works with the NFL Players Association, and tell him about your product to get the word out.
2014, I met Bob Ratan, the inventor of the RemZzzs CPAP liner. This liner is a game changer. It's saving lives, and I'm going to be using it in our NFL screenings around the league.
I have quite a few Vikings guys that have sleep apnea. You know, I talk to them about this product now, and I go, hey, did you know about sleep apnea? They go, oh yeah, I've got the machine. Then I recommend they get their liner to go with their machine.
Recently, we've partnered with Eller, who wears a CPAP mask. He was struggling with leaks and irritations, but he wears RemZzzs CPAP mask liners, and it's made all the difference.
The game changer for sleep apnea is a RemZzzs liner. It's easy to use, it's inexpensive, and you don't need a prescription to get it. You just simply lay it on top, line it up so that it meets the peak that goes over your nose, and then you put the mask on. Just apply it to your face like this. Very simple. It didn't get oily, it didn't smudge my face, and I could keep it on all night. And that's when my sleep hours began to increase, and that's where I averaged more than 7 hours of sleep per night. And I would wake up rested in the morning, I would have my plan set for the day, I'd go through the day, and man, I have been so much more productive since I've been wearing the RemZzzs than I ever was before without it.
The biggest thing about the RemZzzs CPAP liner is it makes it easier for the patient to wear a CPAP. Non-compliance is a major problem with CPAP wearers. The masks leak. This prevents leakage.
This is something that I can do to give back, to help, you know, maybe a way to stay connected. These are all important things to me. My health is important to me, and I want you to know that your health is important to you as well.
If you have to use a CPAP, RemZzzs will make the experience 1,000 times better. It's a game changer.
Ultimately, this is going to improve the compliance of CPAP users wearing the mask. That's why we're very interested with the NFL Hope program.
Here's the important thing, is that my girlfriend goes, I like the mask. I didn't even know. She never complained before. She never said anything before. But now she reminds me, says, put the mask on before you fall asleep, because I like to lay in bed and watch TV, and sometimes I doze off. But she says, put the mask on before you go to sleep, and that's how the difference is. She's very comfortable with it, and she supports it. So you guys out there, have no fear. The mask is the answer, but the liner is what you need to make that answer work.
So if you go online, you can get a box of 30 liners. We recommend that you change them every day for cleanliness, sanitary purposes. So you can go online and get a box of 30. If you put in the promo code Carl81, you can get a discount for our product from our company, RemZzzs.com.